Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classes of Cinematics, and I'm joined as always with my co-host. We got Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo.
Yeah, today's going to be one of our best of episodes, so we're going to be talking about the best monsters from the classic films, man. And I'm going to set it off with Godzilla from 1954, man. And this is a crazy, monstrous creature, man. This is a creature that was asleep, according to this film story, in the Pacific, man, somewhere, and it was awakened by a nuclear test, a nuclear bomb going off in that region, and because it was disturbed, it went on a rampage, headed straight toward Tokyo, Japan, man. And this creature is dope to me because, what I like about Godzilla is just it represents this crazy force of nature, this being that doesn't have any kind of human style morality, right or wrong. It's just out to destroy anything that's disturbing it, anything in this area that it chooses to roam, man. And Japan happens to be there as well as some other places. What's cool about it, almost T-Rex in design, man, almost dinosaur-like, physically really powerful, man. You know what I'm saying? Just can knock over buildings with brute strength. It's got like an all-powerful tail, and when push comes to shove, it also has this crazy fire breath death ray that it shoots out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Can't no Tic Tac help that.
Yeah. You can't mess with it, man. And I think for me, the early versions of the monster are the best to me, and the newer version, man, because the new version also reflects the later version. The American-made films, man, they're okay, but, as far as, what we get with the destruction and the scale and all that, but the nature of that monster is still on some friendly stuff. I like the original version where it was a monster, man.
In the American versions, they turn him into a modern-day martyr in a sense, where, they're like, oh, we got this other monster that's more monstrous than you, so put your Superman cape on and help us save the day.
Yeah, this monster is supposed to keep other monsters in check that are much worse than
who said Godzilla even has a moral compass? Maybe he don't give a fuck about nobody.
Yeah, and that's what I like that version, man, because especially with the newer film, and even with this one, man, they play around with the idea that this thing is just a beast that's out there controlling its territory. It's a super predator. It's the top of the food chain, and it's out to destroy anything that's disturbing its realm, and it just so happens that Japan and Tokyo happens to be within that realm, so it's gotta go, and it's acting in that way, man. So I love this creature, man. It's so fun to play around with the idea of it, and even its manifestation, because the interesting thing is, like, you look at it and it looks like it's suffering from the exposure of radiation, man. There's not scales on them. They look more like tumors. And when you get in on this character and the design over the years, and it's awesome, man. Just one of the greats, man. 1954, they came up with this. He's not the first film monster, but on this scale, I think he's one of the first to do it like this, man.
Absolutely.
Great,
Absolutely.
Man. Great.
Yeah. So my first monster is going to be none other than Pennywise from 1990s TV made movie adaptation of Stephen King's It, played by Tim Curry. And the thing about this monster is, he's the eater of worlds and children. So that is one hell of a punchline. Imagine if you were a prize fighter and that's what they said when you came out to the ring. Okay, that will instill fear.
That's half of what Mike Tyson
I wasn't ready for that. So the cool thing about this character is he is a shapeshifter from another planet, from pretty much just roaming around the universe for however many years. And when he decided to plant himself on Earth, he pretty much he gets his jollies off of instilling fear in the masses and then feasting off of it. Hence all of these, widespread disasters and eating all these people, and then a 25-year layover, hibernation time. And the cool thing about it is, in his most natural Earth form, he is a pretty much a big spider the size of an apartment building. But then he also can transform himself into these bright beams of light called deadlights, which if you stare into those have an alternative effect. But what he likes to turn himself into more than anything else is this figment of a clown, Pennywise the dancing clown, because personally, his flavor of choice is children, and they are the most susceptible to the fear that he instills. Like, he will project himself into any like image that will scare you. But the thing of it is, with him, he finds that children are the easiest to scare. And for some reason, on his time in Derry, where he resides, the clown was the most socially acceptable, as odd as that sounds. Like, he'd been floating around there as this clown for a minute. And the thing of it is that he said that, you know, when it comes to the children, you know, their fear is like almost like seasoning a steak. He likes to sprinkle that fear on his meat before he eats it, I guess. It's odd as that sounds. You know what I mean? I guess. Who knows? Like, that's what that. But yeah, man. And that's the thing, because, like, you know, looking at it, you know what I'm saying, from the outside looking in, clowns are creepy as fuck. Just when you dive into the lore, the origin of the clown, this whole, like, anybody can paint a picture on their face, a smile on their face, and really be something sadistic underneath, or just
you're coming at us with, like, a, you know, happy-go-lucky kind of traditionally known as figure, which what clowns are, and then, you know, and there's something deadly and evil hiding beneath that.
Yes, and for some reason, also, you know, due to the circus element, children are drawn to clowns, or they are completely scared of them, and he knows this, and he you know, he really pushes the pedal on that. And the wild thing is that, you know, as he cruises through, you see there are spot checks where, you know, he's still, even in clown form, you know, his teeth might change, and he really like levels it up, or his hand will change, or he's just doing something just straight brute force, like ripping Georgie's arm off at the socket. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
It's
bro.
It's wild when you think about this conceptually, but, you know, to me personally, Pennywise is what defines a monster, because there's really no definition for him. You know what I mean? Outside of just instilling fear in the victim.
My next one is going to be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from 1984's Ghostbusters. And I picked this one because on the surface, he's not what you would consider a monster, but I like the setup of its creation, because we're at a point where our Ghostbusters are, you know, kind of cornered by the evil entity Zool, and Zool decides to let them choose how they want to die. And their idea in this film, man, it's a funny moment, is they're not trying to think of anything. Our four characters, but Ray Stantz, you know, bless his heart, you know, he can't do this. He's having a hard time doing this, so he thinks of something that's light and happy, and he thinks of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which is a brand of marshmallows that they have in this universe. And the logo is a chunky Michelin Man looking marshmallow guy. He's got for some reason he's got like a sailor's hat on, and then the whole outfit. So all of a sudden, this huge man, Godzilla-sized Marshmallow Man appears walking through the streets of New York. Man, it's just one of the best moments in film.
Because he's got a smile for a mile, dude. He looks harmless.
And I love the sound you hear. You hear the doom. And all of a sudden, you just see his shoes. He's happy. And it doesn't even look like a monster. He's got, like you said, the smile on his face. And it's also funny to me because the other character's like, Stay Puft. He's like, yeah, man. I mean, it was the happiest thing I could think of. Yes. And it's also funny because you're like, damn, this is how they're going to die? And then, you know, they try to take it out. And that's kind of where it turns a little bit, because they hit him with the proton packs. All of a sudden, my man makes the face like a toddler when you take away their favorite toy. It's beautiful, man. Like it's funny, it's ridiculous, but for storytelling and filmmaking, it's beautiful, man. Just to see this moment go down and the fun of it. And all of a sudden, it's like, damn, we got a problem, bro. We got to deal with this Marshmallow Man, because essentially now he's like a marshmallow Godzilla now, because that's what he's doing. He's destroying this world. He's trying to take these guys out with a smile on his face at first, but then, you know, when the evil mode transfers, it's funny, man. It's beautiful, and it's also, I think it's cool because it shows how something that looks so innocent in the beginning can become a monster, you know?
Yes, all through circumstance. And that's one thing that I just love about the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is that he still looks harmless. Even at his biggest
even at
state,
the worst,
he looks harmless. I would hang out with him. I would drink beers with him. If he wanted to put me on his shoulder.
He'll squash you with a smile on his face.
Man, he put me on his shoulder and I get to ride around and be like, yeah, welcome to New York. You know what I'm saying? It'd be great. I'd hang out with the Marshmallow Man. I would.
Yeah, it's a beautiful moment, man. It's one of the greatest monster moments for me in the films, man, you know?
Yes, absolutely. He makes you feel happy. A monster that doesn't make me feel happy is my next monster. It's the Brundle Fly from 1986's readaptation of the movie The Fly. And this monster, on the other hand, is it's a very unique concept because we start with this overly eccentric scientist in Seth Brundle who has felt that he developed the way for teleportation via these telepods. And so on his various attempts of, teleportating and everything, he decides now, balls to the wall, I'm going to teleport myself. What he didn't account for is that when he teleported himself, a housefly got into one of the telepods. And because these things were, they're just machines, they didn't know how to differentiate the DNA from, human DNA, fly DNA, and then transport as individual organisms. So they spliced the DNA, and what came out of the other pod was a combination of the two. And with that being said, we end up getting one of the most iconic and just gut-wrenching slow transformations from man to monster I've ever seen on film. It is gut-wrenching to watch what this man goes through, because it starts off, he feels like he has evolved in a sense, like this teleportation has made him almost superhuman. He's jumping off the walls, he's doing gymnastics, he's pleasing the ladies, everyone's happy, he's ripping wrists out the sockets, arm wrestling. He was so cool.
It's like, you hit the gym for a week, you get that boost.
He was so cool that he wore a leather jacket with no shirt underneath. Like, you got to feel like you cool if you doing that, okay?
My man was out here.
My man was
he was taking people's women.
He was living la vida loca, okay? And so what ends up happening is then, after the euphoric stage, the decomposition starts, and my goodness gracious, it is so gross to see as it happens. His fingernails start coming off, his ears start falling off, his limbs start falling off. Even to the point where he can't digest food properly. He's throwing up this crazy looking vomit on his food and slurping it back up.
That's how flies eat, though.
That's how they eat.
Yeah. And that's actually more efficient.
It's more efficient, but it's not efficient when you are a human. Okay,
nasty.
It was nasty to see.
Yeah, I'm leaving when dinner time if y'all eating like that.
And this whole time,
Super Bowl party. Let me know when the snacks coming out.
Yeah,
no. Step outside.
If old boy gonna start throwing up on the wings, I'm out of here. But the thing is that as this is happening, even though we know that a monster is around the corner, like, I really feel bad for him. Like this is the only monster in cinematic history that I will ever feel bad for. That doesn't really make me scared. It makes me sad to see what this man is going through. And as he's just decomposing in just these various forms and turning less human, more fly, but then also something unique in its own, we ultimately see him shed the human skin. And what comes out of this skin is something so unique and so visually memorable. Like, it's not a fly, it's not a man, it's something else. And it's big, it's menacing, it's slimy, but it has these big old sad eyeballs, and you can tell that whatever human is left in there, like, you see that in these big bug-like eyes. And it's not that he's happy doing what he's doing it because he has no other options. And like I said, to see a monster do monstrous things, but you actually feel bad for it, that was something that I've never experienced outside of in this movie.
Good monster stuff, man. Like, and that's going back to Frankenstein. It's like,
yes,
like I think that's also an effective angle. You go for all out ferocity, but if you can add a sympathetic element to the monster, man, I think that even pushes it higher in the rankings, you know,
dude. At the end, when my man, when all else fails, and he's just kind of like he's at the end of his rope, and he takes his little claw thing, grabs the shotgun, and puts it to his head, and wants his girl to blow his brains out. Man, it makes me want to get misty. Man, it makes my eyeballs want to sweat a little bit. So this particular monster will always be forever etched in my brain. For various reasons, but it is just so, it is scary on a whole nother level just because of this progression from human to monster with the emotional compass that it carries.
Yeah, definitely, man. My final one is going to be the alien Xenomorph from Alien 1979.
That's a good one.
This is probably one of the best, man, just for the sheer danger, ferocity, and makeup of what it is, man. Because interestingly enough, we got this ant-like, society that it lives in. Even the way it reproduces, man, I think it's got one of the most terrifying ways to reproduce, where it actually needs a host. Yeah. Meaning that for every one of these creatures to be born, another living being has to die in a violent and painful way, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they attach to you with
the way it goes about it.
Yeah, it's almost like a spider, a hand, like 2-hand size spider, attaches to your face, injects your body with some kind of embryo, and that thing grows inside of you until it matures and bursts out of you, and it kills you. It kills the host, upon being born. That's also terrifying. So then the adult form of this creature is crazy too, man. Like, you look at the original film Alien, we have the chest burster scene, which is probably a top 5 horror film moment, ever. I don't think you're not going to really have as many scenes like that impact people in the same way.
No.
And after that, this thing is out there. You're like, all right, it's not bad. It's like a rabbit-sized messed up thing that's running around this ship. But watching the film, each time we see it, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger until we get to the final form, which is like 6-7 foot of just alien, way stronger than us.
Menace.
Indestructible, deadly. You try to hurt it, you can hurt yourself because the blood is acidic.
What? Yeah, exactly.
Everything. It's the stuff of nightmares, man. And
yes.
This film, that it came out in is crazy, man. It's a testament to how big of an impact that this creature had in the film world, that we're still making new stuff that's about to come out now. I'm not sure when the new Alien series is out. I think maybe next year. I think they just started producing it, but we're still getting new stuff based on this crazy creature. They even made a crossover series with another crazy creature we might get into later. I almost put that on my list. The Predator versus Aliens.
Yes.
Like it's crazy because like I said, man, it just taps into our wildest imaginations and our wildest fears. There's a body horror aspect with its origins, also the strength of it, and just it's nightmare fuel, man.
It is definitely nightmare fuel, and also what adds an extra intensity level to this nightmare fuel is the fear of isolation. All this happening in an encapsulated environment where it is just you and the creature, where that is scary in itself. And then also, like you said, you see this manifestation from 3 different phases. Like when it first jumps out as a chest buster, it almost kind of comes off like a soft shell crab, like it looks penetrable. But when it comes full circle, it's like armor. You know what I mean? And then, like you said, with the acid blood, man,
even when you go to I heard things that Ridley Scott didn't like the treatment of the character in Aliens, but I think it made them even that much stronger. That our baddest, most fully equipped, capable space marines got washed by these same creatures.
Got wet washed.
That even made them more deadly. It more solidified how monstrous these things are, in my opinion.
And we also see that in an controlled environment in the masses, they will spread like cockroaches. There is no containment.
And that's the scariest thing. You don't need just human hosts. They can host to anything. Anything that's big enough that they can attach to and make more of them. And it's also interesting too. I like how the what comes out of them takes on the characteristics of the host. So if there's an elephant. That would be crazy.
Oh my God!
The elephant.
It would be like three mouths. Like what if it was a mouth in the trunk, and then a mouth that came out the mouth, and then a tusk mouth? Man, oh my God! And it's as big as a damn elephant. Are you kidding me?
That's gonna be crazy.
That's chaos at its finest.
Man, imagine you cut into that, all the acid blood that could fall out of that. Yeah, man.
That just made my heart skip a beat,
bro. One of the best, man. Shout out to Ridley Scott for it, inventing that, man. I just wish his current movies were better. But what you got next?
So, for my last monster, this is one of my favorite monsters from one of my favorite movies ever in the history of filmmaking. It is Tarman from 1985's Return of the Living Dead. Mm-hmm. And this is not only one of the most inventive zombie designs ever, still to this day, but one of the most creative and unique in so many ways, where we get this zombie who was stuck in a canister full of trioxin, which is the gas that creates zombies.
That's the zombie gas
in this world. Yeah. And as the gas is released from the canister, causing its own form of chaos, Tarman, he finds a way to get out of the canister. And when he does, I mean, it is wild, because our first scene, when we are first exposed to him, it looks like because of the trioxin that his skin is like melting off of him, almost in the form like as if he was like rolling around in hot tar, hence the name. But what is more creepy than that is the fact that like he moves like water. He's like fluid with his motions and everything, and he can talk. Okay, and he will tell you, he has no problem telling you what he wants, and what he wants is your brains. He's going to eat them. He got strong jaws, and he's also very strong, even though he has no muscle mass. The thing is that he knows how to use this strength in a very inventive way. He's smart. I guess it's all the brains that he's eating, because when he's chasing down Tina, dog, like she falls through the steps, and then she goes into like a steel locker situation. My man takes another chain and makes like a pulley rig and starts pulling that thing to rip the steel door off just to get to her, and he's all excited. And
maybe that's past life experience.
Yeah, who knows? But then the thing is, what also is, he might not have a heartbeat, but he got heart for days, because when more people come to save the day, he does not run. He is not scared. He's like, yeah, more brains. And then he starts eating people. He kills suicide. He wants to kill everybody else. I mean, this zombie, for me, is what nightmares are made of. He is scary in every way. And what was presented to us as a horror comedy film, he is what brought the horror to this film by being such a unique and impactful character and setting the tone for how zombies were to be viewed different moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, before him, zombies did not talk. They did not... They didn't use brain power. They just pretty much walked around dead and emotionless. Whereas him, he was none of those.
The zombies
things.
in that film definitely generally had a lot of personality.
Yes,
and look, and he's definitely a memory that's set in my brain. I watched this at way too young of an age, but I think we could wrap this up, man. We're gonna be back with another episode. This is definitely one we're gonna revisit, because there's a lot of monsters out there in the film world, and a lot that we can cover. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check us out on Instagram, Classics of Cinematics. Look at the merch below, man. We need the support. And you can also catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
And this is Bobby Blockbuster. As always, you can catch me on this Best Of segment or our Classics of Cinematics film review show. Bye.
All right, peace. Oh, my God.